How do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Seems pretty straightforward, right? Just spread peanut butter on one slice of bread, jelly on another, and then put them together. Let's take a look at this video to see if it really is all that simple. Okay, so as you can see in that video, making a peanut butter jelly sandwich isn't as easy as you might have thought. Beneath the surface, even seemingly simple tasks are composed of many complex steps. And that's the essence of programming. It's taking an abstract concept or idea and deconstructing it into a series of logical instructions. So it's no surprise that this video resonated with so many computer scientists because it highlights the challenge of precise instructions. Being able to program is being able to deconstruct those big ideas and break it down into smaller ones. And the beauty of programming is that anyone can innovate with just creativity, a vision, and a computer. Just like you don't need instructions to build something cool with Legos or paint a masterpiece. In other words, you are the creator. My programming journey started back in 6th grade when I started taking weekly coding lessons. And the routine went something like this. The teacher would hand out a packet of code with the project within it, and you were expected to follow along as she taught it. Now what I did was I copied that code line for line and pasted it into my computer, just like a robot would do. So you can probably guess what happened. I couldn't learn anything. This continued until the pandemic hit when I was in 7th grade. And when I sat down to start programming again, I just sat there and stared at my computer screen. And I realized I really hadn't learned anything at all after all those years. And I hate stopping in the middle of something without completing it. So I decided, okay, maybe we can give programming another shot. And I did. Initially, it was very difficult, and I continued to struggle with understanding even just basic concepts. But once I tried coding a practical application, things started to change. Each week, our school nurse would send out an email with the number of COVID cases in town that week, and I used code to try extracting that information. Honestly, I still didn't understand most of what I did, but I started to enjoy problem solving, and I started to improve drastically. And although it would be great for more people to have this experience of learning programming and finding something they enjoy, I recognize that not everyone has the resources and privilege to do so. And this disparity in technological access is known as the digital divide. You've probably heard of it before. For example, the digital divide is stark in Nicaragua, where secondary education is a luxury and internet access is limited. In 2022, only 44% of Nicaraguans use the internet, in comparison to 92% of Americans. So when I went to Nicaragua last summer as part of a mission trip to teach university students programming and hardware engineering, my primary goal was not to teach how to write flawless code, but rather is to trigger an interest in problem solving and creating their own innovations. And the opportunities to acquire technical jobs in Nicaragua is out of reach for many students, much less to compete with their counterparts in more developed parts of the world. And a lot of the students that I met had never been properly taught multiplication, which is an elementary skill here in the US. And it's not their fault. For many, poverty and unqualified teachers eliminate the possibility of pursuing further education, either in college or even in high school, because they have to drop out of school to get a job and support their families. Even for those who are able to go to college, only a small fraction of them actually end up getting degrees, and this diminished population of degree holders makes it difficult for Nicaragua and other countries that are like Nicaragua to catch up to developed nations that are racing ahead with novel technologies. And this ever-expanding technological and educational gap it's what makes the digital divide such a serious problem. In today's digital era, access to education, healthcare, and other essential services are dependent on technology. And while these technologies offer endless benefits to those who possess them, the rapid pace of development also leaves many behind. To bridge this gap, we must prioritize digital literacy and invest in computer science education, especially with the rise of AI. Raising digital literacy isn't simply about improving living conditions in third world countries. It's also about ensuring safe and ethical development of future technologies. By doing so, people living in third world countries gain access to opportunities that are beyond poverty, while even in more affluent regions, people are inoculated against technological misdevelopment and mishandling. Familiarity with programming and computer ethics is not a convenience anymore. It's an imperative. As individuals do their part to stay educated, a collective voice will form to responsibly shape tomorrow's technologies. Now, back to my story. Teaching programming in Nicaragua taught me this transformative power of education. I was really nervous, naturally, to teach a computer language that is completely foreign to students in a foreign language myself. But thankfully, my initial struggles with learning to program proved to be a blessing in disguise, as I was able to empathize with students who were feeling stuck and help them to the best of my abilities. And I was also overjoyed as I witnessed students' eyes light up to even just a simple demonstration of an LED turning on and off. At the end of the coding camp, the students were grouped to make a final project into a business pitch. And considering the limited time and resources that they had, I was thoroughly impressed. For instance, one team built a robbery detection system while another team used LEDs to create a track that would light up to signal the takeoff of an airplane. And after a few months, something truly unexpected happened. These same students held a coding camp for their underclassmen, and some even participated in robotics competitions. And I was surprised, not because I didn't believe they could, but because they had gone above and beyond to share this wonderful knowledge with others. And that was when I realized the true power of a single spark and its potential to weld the chasm of the digital divide. Fortunately for me, I was brought up in a supportive environment where education is given high priority. And in Nicaragua, I felt a sense of responsibility to recreate the same level of support, help, and encouragement for the students. If the coding camp itself provided flint and steel, I hope that the learning environment would pile a kindling for a spark to set aflame. And I also hope that my coding camp will catalyze a reaction for more and more people to become the pioneers of their country's future. And from what I'm seeing right now, I'm optimistic that they're on the right path. We are now standing in a fork in the road where the rapid pace of technological advancements will also increase the digital divide at unprecedented speeds. The digital divide won't be mended overnight, and it probably will never be eliminated. But we must make the right decisions now so that we can reduce this gap as much as possible. And that requires each one of us to do our part. And in the words of Pablo Picasso, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. By embracing learning challenges and sharing our expertise, we empower ourselves and others to become the innovators of tomorrow. Together, we can shape a brighter and more equitable future for all. Thank you.